It says, there are at least 13 buildings owned and managed by funding predatory equity firm via the Vantage Management and Apollo Investment Corporation in our area, who are infamous for tenants' right violations and displacing immigrants' families. In addition, fueled by gentrification and other recent economic incentives, tenant rights abuses by individual landlords in rent-regulated buildings across Queens have been on the rise. What are your specific plans to support tenants, unions, and organizations who are being instrumental in the fight against abusive landlords and preserving affordable housing stock in Queens?
This is a really good question because it's something that I've been really deeply involved with for a very long period of time. I have marched with Make the Road just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We marched from Make the Road headquarters over to 94th Street and 35th Avenue to protest the abuses of those landlords. I have a very close working relationship with Teresa Perez, and I have organized in buildings. I have been going from building to building to building in the district to organize tenants in those buildings, to speak to those tenants who live in Vantage buildings. I have been a member of my own tenants association when I lived in a building on 70th Street and Broadway before I bought the co-op that I fortunately have now. So I know the abuses of these landlords firsthand. I know their tactics. I know what they do. I know how they don't accept checks from people, how they don't accept leases, how they, all the tactics that they use to try to force people out of their homes. And that's what they have to realize, is that these are our homes. To them, it's just a business deal, but to us, these are our homes. I have been there, I have fought the battle, I have walked the walk, and I have not just talked the talk.
That is a very good question. What happened is, because there is no control in the city, there is no regulation, we had to change the whole system. Now, this is going back to the business community. If you have a 4-family or up, you have some rent regulations. If you are a commercial owner, you have no rent regulation. If you are a bad landlord, there is no way until you take them to court. Going to court is not that easy job. It's take you too much time. What I can do, since I'm an attorney, I can give you the service along with the community board and community other organizations. I'm not saying that you can solve this problem in 1 day. You have to take the landlords who are greedy, who wanted to make money out of people, to the court, to the last end of the resource to take them to the court. That's only way.
I think this is a very, very important issue, and I think it's extremely important that we go and we try to really fight the way that these landlords are treating people. One of the most important things that I think any one of us who is going to be the next council member that they really need to work on is to make sure that people get to live in their homes and get to stay in their homes. We've seen it county-wide where the foreclosure problem is outrageous. One of the first things that I will do if I'm elected is work to make sure that people get to stay in their homes. That is extremely important. We need to understand and we need to bring before the city council, we need to have hearings to make sure that people are treated fairly, because it is an outrageous thing that these people are going and treating the tenants of Jackson Heights this way. It really is. Thank you.
Housing is everybody's right. Being treated by landlords is everybody's right. Poor landlords have no place in New York City. And I think the way we think is the legislation that we introduced, passed unanimously in the City Council, and our laws today. That is where the action is, in the laws, in the City of New York and through the City Council. Remember, the mayor doesn't pass laws, he issues executive orders. Now, I met with Teresa Perez. She came with a group of people. We had a very long conversation and she put forth everything that were their problems. I then met with Vantage. I went to see them, actually at their site. I wrote a letter to Vantage, sent a copy to Teresa Perez, and there was a press conference at City Hall. on exactly what were the results of a bill that we passed in the city council about the harassment of tenants. It works. We found out that there were tenants that brought their landlords into court. If you all there with Christine Quinn and myself standing in the blue room, and what had happened with those laws. It is effective. The thing with laws is they must be enforced. And that's where oversight hearings in the city council and what we do in my office are effective, because the tenants come first. Thank you.